Amna, can you please share your thoughts about women and your success story, your experiences towards working as a career woman in a professional world?
Actually, as you start and introduce the UAE context, the education for Emirati is free in public schools, colleges, and university. And for me, I study in these public schools, and I graduated from the public colleges and university. Also, for the master degree, I had been sponsored from our government to continue my higher education. The UAE government focus on elimination of gender in education and ensure equal access to all levels of education and vocational training, including women and persons with also persons with disabilities. The UAE, as you said, it's ranked as a leading country in the gender equality in the region according to the World Economic Forum 2020 Global Gender Gap. This means that UAE's focus in education, and also what it's important to say that the women participation it's strongly in the public sectors participation, especially in the public sectors. And they hold the roles 30% in leadership roles and 15% in technical and academic roles.
The question today is about free education and healthcare for women, and especially in developing countries. And I'm going to make it very short and brief here, but there are stations or centers for women who seek refugee for various reasons, because they maybe had to go away from home, because maybe there was no support system from home, maybe it was because of violence acts, or simple because they had no one to support, they had no support system. And when I discovered that these centers would also be in the UAE, I approached them and I said, I am a global leader in terms of education. I run my own company in terms of training, but it is my role to share my knowledge as much as I can for those who don't have access. And that's also my message later on in terms of what is our role to actually change the system or talk to, political parties and change the mindset on a different level. So we had the pleasure, my team and I, to actually visit one of these institutions, and for confidentiality reasons, I'm not going to share which one it is, where women were seeking support because of no support system, but also because they have been mistreated and abused in the past. And we had the pleasure of going in and taking a couple of these women who were receptive already for support and for a support system to actually give them a little bit of happiness, empowerment, motivation by turning on music and, making them do things, little changes in terms of their posture, in terms of their gestures, in terms of how would they speak. And the training was not very long. It was a couple of hours, 1 or 2 hours. And you would see in the first couple of minutes, ladies who were there were not sure whether they deserved to be in this training. And this was such a wake-up call for me, because we didn't ask them for money. We didn't ask them to prepare anything. They were simply there, and they were so overwhelmed with the possibility given to them. And it took us about 30% of the time to make them understand that it's okay. It's okay to sit there. It's okay to participate because you deserve it. So what I'm trying to say is that, yes, political changes should happen. Yes, we all need to gear up in terms of regimes and systems. But on the second dimension, apart from us as leaders in the third dimension, we need to change the mindset of those who should receive training and who should receive, healthcare and education.
So the first, I listened now, Sophie, and every story of every woman, so similar. So we women all similar to each other. So, and we have all fears similar. Some women afraid of facing challenges. some woman afraid to have lack of support or understanding from a side of her husband, relatives, or friends, or even parents. So, and afraid to start to do something new. I recall a woman, first of all, never ever afraid to do something, even if you fail, because every failure is a great success to learn. I'll give you an example. When I moved to United States in 2006, I was invited to Thanksgiving charity project. I afraid because I afraid to join the project to support, because first I didn't know the community. I was young, I was new, and that night changed my life because I made so many friends. and I gained so many important skills which helped me today. From that day, social work, charity projects turned to my lifestyle. So as a woman, myself, including myself, we all have fears. I recall every woman not to afraid start to do something, just to find the proper approach. The proper approach is that ask yourself, what is your goal? What you want to do, how you want to do, analyze, define, and then find the solution. I think that it's very important to develop women communities which will help women to find her way, because sometimes traditional understanding of work style may not suit women, because woman or personality, because we're all different. So I would definitely pay attention to improving communities, clubs in different areas to support women.
Our first question of the day, the question that is, why is it important to educate women and provide health care?
Education is important. School is the place where children first learn to exercise their agency and make their voice heard. Without access to education, girls are denied the opportunity to learn the skills that enable them to take charge, not only in their own homes, careers, and lives, but also in their community and their country. They can more effectively teach their own children, which will help lift an entire generation. When we educate girls, we give them the chance to step up and realize their full-fledged leadership potential. From my point of view, if I become a minister, I would work with the local and international education ministries to ensure that teachers have the tools they need to improve their classes in environments in these developing countries, by cooperating also with other expert organizations in the same field. With doing this, we are able to reach more broadly to help implement successful education initiatives in these countries.
Education and healthcare must be available to women and men. This is basic human rights. And I really, really believe that it's our role, and I might repeat myself on here, to do anything possible to be a role model in that. My belief is that it should be a three-dimensional approach, very simple. Governments must be included. They must be engaged in the process, as you have already mentioned. Leaders in education have to be leading by example and walk the talk, so to say. And also the third mindset should be, and that's what I shared with my example initially, to talk to women and to change their mindset, to be receptive for healthcare, education, and seeing the empowerment that they can get out of it. Why is it important? Because it's minimum 50% of the world population that we need to support. And when I talk about being a prime minister, it would be a great honor for me, because I would have a platform where I could share the experience and I could share the importance. You had mentioned construction of a bridge and you get an ROI, return on investment. I'm telling you, if you as a country invest in free education and healthcare, the ROI that you can achieve is not even measurable, because women who have a voice, women who have education, women who have confidence, competence, and credibility, they will become your working force. They will generate business opportunities, and business opportunities, if you understand what I mean, they will then be like an incubator. Continuously growing the entire society like a domino effect. And if I, as a prime minister, would have the chance to voice that out, it would be the greatest day ever.
We don't divide women on men. This is a human right. Men and women, they have to be equal. This is my approach. Second, less educated women, they less independent. So they have to be independent for their kids in their actions. Less educated woman, she is not independable, and she is always dependable financially from her relatives or husband. And for me, importance of education to minimize the hugest problem, early child marriage. Because of poor education in many developing countries with poor access to education, early child marriage increased. And because of that, number of divorces increase, or death, or unhealthy kids, like this all affect. So I would definitely improve education. In Azerbaijan, we have very well established education and healthcare. I would definitely create foundations to support talented women, so those talented women can inspire in the future the next generation. So I think access to healthcare and education very important, because as I mentioned, in my mind, educated woman, it means educated future generation, educated kids, because we as a mothers, we show example to our kids. And I cannot imagine how can a woman don't have access to education, so she become independable from someone financially. If she has a kids, she has to be independent. She has to be independent for herself. She has to be educated and independent for her kids' future to guarantee. So I would definitely raise this question. And if, as a prime minister, I would definitely create a huge circle to remove these problems and increase in independency for women in developing countries, and avoid and minimize early marriage. In developing countries well-established education and established rights for the woman. It doesn't mean every Muslim woman, if we talk about Muslim countries now today, not every Muslim woman ready with her traditional perception and culture she raised in, go and study. So I think that these communities has a very huge and positive impact on their minds. So she can see example, like you said now, like your relatives, they graduated from King's College. So this is inspirational. Maybe not every Pakistani woman have motivation go and graduate from UK, Austria, Germany, or United States. So showing an example is great. So I think building communities where women can interact with each other, make new friends, exactly in those communities, there is a change of mindset happening. So, and they're ready and open to change, for changes, to improve skills, like to change the environment they live in. Because I saw real examples of women, many women, they have access to education, but they don't do it. They still have mind that why should I go and study and work? Because I have relative, I have father, I have husband or brother. So we have to, I think that it's very important to ruin this perception and understanding by developing these communities which influence and have a huge impact on mindset. That's the priority as well.